Hello my lovely and welcome back to my channel. I am Peachy Vegan Goddess, and in this video I'm going to share with you how veganism didn't work for me and how I fixed it. Okay, so if you haven't read my journey to becoming vegan, go check it out. This will probably make a lot more sense, but basically initially when I became vegan, there was quite a lot of trial and error for me, I'm not gonna lie, and I wasn't like very clued up about like exactly what I needed and like like what I needed for my own body to feel good basically. And I did have a lot of health issues like coming up and leaving my body at the time, and I had been detoxing, and so I had some health issues, I had some things coming up, like I went through a phase where I struggled being vegan. I struggled, I believed that I wasn't receiving enough nutrients, like I was kind of what's the word, I was falling into the trap of believing BS basically about veganism, and it caused like a fear in me. It caused me to worry about whether I was getting everything I needed, and I felt like it wasn't working for me. I felt like that I contemplated what to do. I didn't want to go back to ever eating animals or their secretions. I really didn't want to do that, but it wasn't working for me at one point. So rather than doing what a lot of people do, which is saying, oh, veganism doesn't work, rather than doing that and going back to eating animals, I decided to take responsibility for myself. I decided to research. I decided to reach out for help from vegan nutritionists. I started to watch videos of people who are really super successful on vegan diets, and I watched like what I eat in a day videos from those people. I filled my head with positivity around veganism, success stories around veganism, like optimum health stories around veganism, like people who had gone vegan and who are thriving. I surrounded myself with that information, and I started telling myself different stories. I got the app Chronometer, don't know how you say it, on my phone. And I really looked into making sure that I'm receiving everything I need in my diet. I had an issue at the time with eating lunch, and I find that I was basically just not eating enough. It was just that I was not eating enough for what my body needed, and I was also eating some foods that for me aren't very, they don't make me feel very high vibe. And so there was some trial and error in the earlier days of me being vegan. And I just want to say, like, don't give up. If you're struggling being vegan, if you're feeling like worried, or you're feeling that you're being sucked into like fear mongering around it and like failure stories and things like that, you can shift that. You can shift your whole mindset. You can shift everything just by looking into success stories and looking into like tracking what you're eating. I wouldn't recommend doing this forever. It's just so that you get an idea of what you need to feel good on a daily basis, and like what that looks like for you. Because and just bear in mind that that may also kind of change or fluctuate. Like for me, I definitely notice a pattern that links to my menstrual cycle with my eating habits and the things that I need in my body. And a long time ago, I read the book called Woman Code by Elisa Vitti, which teaches you how to, she does functional medicine, and it teaches you how to eat for the 4 phases of your menstrual cycle, to really support your hormones, basically. And so I put all of this into practice, and I really prioritized eating whole plant foods, and making sure that I was eating 3 meals a day. That really does work for me. I know some people don't get on with that at all, but I do find that after my period, when I'm coming into the what's called the follicular phase, or I call it the spring phase, I find that I don't want to eat as heavy food. I want to eat very light food, and I even like to fast a little bit just for a few days when I come out of being on my period. That just really, really works for me personally. And so I have now kind of mastered my own eating patterns, so that it really suits my lifestyle, so that it really keeps me energized and satiated and feeling good, and also like mentally as well, because I notice when I wasn't eating enough, that my mental health suffered as well. And so it's really important, like, don't just say, oh, okay, that means veganism doesn't work, because it's likely that, you know, when you were eating animals and things like that, you know, that you probably weren't feeling great then either. It's just about finding a way that works for you and being sensible about it and being smart about it. And I know, like, I do believe that everybody is different in the sense that we all need a different level of different nutrients depending on, you know, how active we are, how stressed we are, what kind of environment we live in or work in, you know, just our kind of constitution as a person, any past health issues we've had or current health issues we have. Like, it's you need to look at all of that and think about yourself holistically and tailor your vegan food to you, because you'll have a unique way of eating, and certain foods that really, really make you feel good and really agree with you, and certain foods that maybe won't, which could be different for someone else. But that doesn't mean that you can't succeed being vegan. So I just really felt called to create this video, because I don't want to say, oh yeah, veganism is a cure-all, or veganism is like being vegan doesn't necessarily, like, it did really help me health-wise, but it's not necessarily the answer to everything, and it does take some trial and error to get it right for you. And so give yourself a chance to actually for your body to process that change. If you're eliminating animals and animal products from your diet, it can take some time for your body to adapt to that, and for your gut to start producing the right enzymes, for your hormones to balance out, for everything to start functioning and calibrating back to the homeostasis for you. And so, and you can have like detox symptoms, especially if you're going from eating, you know, lots of animal fats to eating whole plant foods. There can be detox symptoms that come up, and it may take some time before you get into the groove of it and establish what foods work for your body, how much of what works for you, you know? And so it's really important, like, if you are struggling, reach out to vegan nutritionists, research it. And the other key piece, like I said, is really fill your mind with positive stories around being vegan, because I can assure you that half of this is about your mindset and what you're choosing to believe. Because when I was in that fear space, you know, I had friends and family who were concerned about me being vegan, and you know, like, you get taught that you need to eat animals and you need to have dairy and you need this and you need that. And so it's so ingrained in you that there can be this fear come up when you choose a different way for yourself, because everyone around you, and maybe not everyone these days because it's more widespread, but everyone around me was still eating animals and didn't really understand it, and were, you know, I even had people full on fear mongering me about it, and it really got in my brain. But I knew in my heart, where my heart was at, I did not want to abuse animals. I did not want to contribute to the abuse and exploitation of animals. And I just knew that is not something I can be involved in. So I have to find a way for myself. And I did. And I know that you can too. So just keep going with it. Reach out to people. Like, there's so many amazing people out there who are thriving as vegan and who can help you. And so, yeah, don't suffer alone. Don't try and figure it all out for yourself. And do be accepting that it may take you a bit of time. Like, it may take you like a year, maybe even 2 years before you find your groove with it. And if you really love the animals and you really love the planet and you really care, then stay devoted and yeah, stick with it and get the support you need. So yeah, okay. I hope this was useful. Let me know in the comments your thoughts about this, and I will see you in my next video.